I loves me some 1 degree of chunky pea.
Now, I just have to make a comment about Chunky B. Have you ever seen him looking so good?
The panel that includes actress Lady Kazan, comedian Chunky B, and Playboy TV host Julie Strain. Chunky?
What was the question? Okay, listen to me, people. I'm coming at you. I'm coming in you hot. I'm coming in kind of crabby. But the only thing is going to save me is the guest that we have tonight. It's a good one. It's a good one. Good, creative, smart, funny, good looking, and his kid plays lacrosse, but we're going to get into that in a little bit. But let's go into something that means the world to me. The gentleman across the table in the Garage of Love. I know I drive him crazy. His name is Gary Adler, the executive producer of Love in the Garage of Love. Please say hello to Gary Adler.
That's a lot of love,
Four-Eyed
Chucky.
Films.
That's a lot of love, bro. That's a lot of love. And I feel the love.
And I'm willing we can be totally open right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
About
you and I just had a spat right before we came on the air.
We just had.
Yeah.
We had a thing.
I might have scratched your back a little bit.
Yeah, but you know something? I'm not even going to lie to you. And Wizard, you saw it. And I'm going to tell you people, Gary Adler and I just got into an argument where I actually teared up and walked out of the Garage of Love.
And then he went and got a man pill and came back.
And I gave him a reach around.
Chunky, thanks for the introduction. People, if you want to see what we do, go to foureyeedfilms.com. Also, if you want to donate to the show and feed our boy Travis, hit the donate button. Thank you very much for doing that. There's a lot of people who are getting on board with that.
No doubt.
Also, if you go to Amazon, you want to buy something, go through our website. It doesn't cost you a dime, but we get a small little piece. And that, again, contributes to Travis's lunch. Yes.
And let me ask you, you are nailing it and rocking hard at the Game Show Network.
That is correct.
What's happening?
We are in the middle of rebranding the entire network, which I am a key person involved in.
I think you're the deal.
I was the deal. That's what they brought me in for, and it's going great, man. I can't. February 1st will be a light switch. It'll be a brand new channel.
And you are buckling down. And you know something? What drives me crazy is I don't have you on a day-to-day basis during the day anymore.
There's no one to kick your ass in Tiger Woods at 9 a.m.
But there's one thing that we do. We meet down at the pier, Venice Pier, and we watch our kids surf before you go to work.
That is right.
And I look for work.
That's right. When I leave, you get your cardboard out.
And sleep underneath the freeway.
We'll watch your kid for food.
And I'm going to tell you right now, we will argue, but you always put up with me, and I do appreciate that.
And you put up with me. And by the way, it helps if you have Dogtown Dutch.
Yeah, you're right. That's what we're talking about.
There you
Our
go.
best sponsor. Nice segue. No. Turn it around so make sure that you see it. Hey, listen.
You turn yours around.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
John Henry, Christian Warren, thank you day in and day out. You're bringing the best brew in Venice. And if you're not dialed in to something, you're a loser. Go online, find it.
Also, there's a thing at the Argonaut right now. They're trying to find the coolest new product that Venice created, and I think they're in it. So you can go to the Argonaut and vote for them.
Right. Check this out. I don't even know this. This is right fresh off the presses, and I'm not sure I should talk about this, but James Beach down in Venice?
That's right.
Where you and I have had multiple great times.
That we really don't need to get into.
Right. James Beach is now got the green light to do a store or a restaurant at LAX, and you're featuring the #1 beer, Venice Duck.
Wow.
Did you know? Did I tell you about this?
You did not tell me about this.
It's in the process. Maybe I'm a little too early about talking about it, but check this.
That's pretty cool.
Put that on hold. Let's go further. The gentleman to your right, my left.
That's right.
He goes by the great name of the Wizard of the Knobs. Please say hello to Travis Spencer.
That's the Knobs.
The Knobs.
Baby.
The Knobs. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Could you Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Never fucking fight in front of me again.
Dude, were you a little sad?
I just wanted to like get a bear hug. I was
Yeah.
like, stop it. I didn't know what to do.
It was more of a triple kiss you were looking for.
Totally. I thought that we were finally going to break into a threesome that I've always been hoping for with you guys.
No.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys are great, and I shed a tear too.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You know, people think we're bullshitting, but we just had a blowout right
Yeah,
before.
we're all crying on the inside.
It's hot
right
in
now.
here. I mean,
It's
thanks for
getting hot
adding
in
to the fucking heat.
Hey, you know something? Let's cool it up.
Yeah, let's do it.
We are blessed. And you guys, oh my God, I don't even know how to introduce this cat that is in the garage of love. Court Crandall is a guy that is multitasking. He wrote the greatest movie that I've seen in a long time, and don't say it just yet. He did a documentary of an inner city scholarship that is phenomenal. And if you are a fan of beef jerky, and if you're not, go join your friends in Al Qaeda because you're not American. Please say hello to this sexy man in the garage of love, Court Crandall, everybody.
Hello, Chunky.
Man.
Talk to us, Court.
Well, I'm a little shaken. I was promised the garage of love. I dressed accordingly. I have some champagne. I have some Playboy cologne. I come in here and with a certain expectation of ladies.
And it's a bunch of dudes.
This is a banana stand, Chunky B. This is not what I was promised. This is not the garage of love.
It is, man. It is. Don't give up. Don't give up. I'll make a phone call, and I tell you what, between the two of these guys, they can make it. They'll text. Dude, you brought champagne, you brought ice, you brought your robe.
I brought the whole thing, and just now I'm realizing this is a radio show.
People can see you. People are going to see you. Court.
People can see me?
I did not mean to let you down. What can we do?
This
what
is
can
like
we do?
this is like when you tell your friend, that it's a costume party. And then they show up, and you're all like, "What's up, dude?" They're like, "I'm in my Ninja Ranger fucking outfit."
Disappointed. It's a radio show with a camera. And no ladies.
Court, you're an amazing individual. And you just came into our lives probably about, less than a year ago. And I know your kid plays lacrosse. My kid plays lacrosse. One, you look really sexy in the robe.
Why, thank you.
Two, let's just cut right to the chase.
Yeah.
Cut right to the chase, you sexy motherfucker. What's up? What are you doing? What should we go right to?
Let's start with 1990. How did you get out here from Boston? Go.
That's why
I came out from Boston to write the ads for Lexus Automobiles. Met my wife my first day in town.
Wow.
I had this whole vision that I was going to be leading a life similar to this. And I was driving a Mazda Miata to prove it. And actually literally met her my first day in town and started dating my second week. And
so wait a minute. You've only dipped it in once since 1990?
yeah, pretty much.
Oh, my.
And you're in the hottest city out of Boston.
No
because
wonder
Boston,
why you're in a robe right now. You're so fucking
And
horny.
even now that I realize you guys are dudes, I'm not, I'm kind of coming around.
Oh my God. When did you know that you could write? When did you know that you had a little bit of game, enough to leave Boston? Why leave Boston, not go to New York City? Maybe because you're, a Red Sox fan, or you didn't want to play with, go down and play with the Yankees. You came out to L.A. to prove that you were creative.
Yeah, I mean, I was at an ad agency in Boston, and then I saw Manhattan. I thought first came to L.A. and checked it out. I'm like, I don't think I can live in L.A. And I saw Manhattan Beach. I was like, oh, it's like Cape Cod. Done.
Right.
And so did the ad writing thing for a bit, and I'll get into some of the entertainment stuff in a little bit. But I was mostly motivated by a friend of mine, Tim Kelleher, who wrote a script and made $500,000, and then got it back and made another $500,000 on it. I said, shit, I got to try that.
It always happens. Just like that.
Dude, you came that close. We'll talk about this. Dude, if anybody came just as close as that, I know. But, okay, your buddy's writing.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because I know you got something on your
No,
mind.
I'm fascinated because I want to know what, when that breakthrough came.
So, so I wrote my first script, which was called The Lobster Tale. I wrote it phonetically with a Maine accent because I had seen Fargo, and I thought that was super cool. And the next accent to Lampoon was Maine. I had spent all my summers there growing up, and Maine's a really interesting place because you got all these cats who are kind of simple people, but they have this really profound sense of what's important in the world and what's not, unlike some of the people here in California.
Right.
And so I thought, well, it'd be cool to capture that. It's this lobsterman. He's kind of losing everything in his life by not wanting something more. So his kid kind of wants to move away. His wife's looking for more love. And he finds this moss in his trap one day, and the moss can do all this incredible stuff. And now all the townspeople want it, and it's becomes a sort of morality play as to who gets them.
He cuts his finger off on the prop.
Oh, you've seen it.
Then he sticks his hand in the moss jar, and the finger comes back. And so now everyone in town's like, we need some moss, bro.
Yeah.
And he's just simple fisherman.
Yeah. But they say it like,
you?
yeah.
Time out.
That was nice.
Dude, here's my notes for Gordon.
All right, you
Here's
know
my
I come
notes for
prepared,
Gordon.
bro.
He's my friend. I didn't know. The executive producer doing. Did you do? No one does homework without me knowing.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
He's the executive producer for a reason.
Yeah, and we're talking about Scotty too from the new Star Treks. That was who starred in this thing.
Oh yeah.
Colin
Meaney,
right?
yeah.
Unbelievable
Hard
actor.
to get a actor in an independent movie.
You're such a dick. I swear to God.
So I wrote that, and I went out with it, or I found my agent, who was the husband of the one person I knew in advertising, whose husband was an agent, and he ended up taking me on, and it looked like Harold Ramis's company was going to buy it right out of
Ocean
the gate.
Pictures.
Yeah, and so, and
This is getting
and
weird.
so, for a minute, I'm like, this isn't so hard. Why does everybody say it's so hard to get an agent, hard to write a script? 10 years later, it gets made independently, goes through a bunch of machinations, doesn't quite ever make it to the screen, ends up doing this deal with a company called Peace Arch, which subsequently goes under. So it got some distribution. It never made me a lot of money.
If folks at home wanted to see The Lobster Tale, and that's Tale, by the way, can they get it on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on
okay,
Netflix.
great. That's awesome.
It's it's a family movie, but it's found its kind of
When this was
following.
going on in your life, were you thinking like, "Oh wow, this is easy"?
At first, yeah, because why wouldn't it be? It was easy for a week. And
Because
then-
nobody was saying no.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
You
I
were
got
like-
an agent in my first try. Somebody said they wanted to buy it, and then the shooting gallery was going to make it. Remember that place?
Yeah,
that did
sure.
it? Yeah, all sorts of things. And then I lived every cliche, and then I wrote subsequently 2 really shitty scripts right on the tail of that because I had no idea what I was really doing. I just kind of Forrest Gump my way into
Did
the first
those get
one.
sold as well?
They did not.
They did not.
Those went in drawers. And then it was a bit of a pause
Okay,
until...
should we cut right to his?
Can I ask one question about The
Of course.
Lobster Tale?
Yeah.
You said it went through many machinations. At the end of it all, were you disappointed in what came out?
No, I mean I was pretty happy that the words are pretty much what I wrote to a fault in some cases because I wrote some long diatribe. There's a lot of speechifying.
Yeah.
That if I was on set more and stuff, I probably would have cut down some. And there was a little bit of the quirky comedy that I feel like got lost along the way. But in general, I'm happy with it.
Now, the third nipple stayed in. Was that your line?
The third nipple, yeah, that was
that's
mine.
nice. That was a
But-
good one.
Oh my God, I love my executive producer doing homework.
He's on it.
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing. When did the bubble bust in a good way? I mean, you blew up with the film.
It never happened. It never happened. I still haven't blown up. I'm struggling to
Okay,
keep agents.
I appreciate that, but you wrote one of our favorite flicks of all time. You
You write the screenplay or the story for that?
Well, see, again, so that came from...
have we mentioned it?
Not yet.
No, I think it's kind of fun not to.
Let's not talk about it because all the stoners right now, and you stoners and all you movie
I
people,
think you know how to use Google.
right? Get on Google right now. The man in the robe.
He wrote your favorite film.
He wrote something that is fucking genius. Keep talking.
I did not write Anchorman. Or Step Brothers for that matter. No, so, well, I was in advertising, and I was at one of our creative directors' parties. I used to have these really lavish parties up in Brentwood. And there's somebody like slicing ham, and they're serving wine, and there's literally someone playing the fucking harp at this party. And I just sat there and I was like, wow, where'd the fun go? Like, this is it? This is the rest of my life?
And this is the build-up?
Yeah, and so I was like, God, I'd give anything just to have a red cup again. Like, I don't need anything but a red cup and a keg. That was fun. And so I started thinking about, this kind of pathetic attempt to recapture your youth. And what would be the funniest way to do that would be to restart the fraternity again. And I was in a fraternity in college, had some kind of funny stories, and thought, yeah, that's kind of a sad way to try and recapture your youth. So I created the movie. It was originally called Frat Men, and then it subsequently became Old School.
Yes.
The gentleman in the robe to my immediate right, in the garage of love, across the table of the Adler, of the enthusiastic fucking positivity, no arguing before a show guy, and the Wizard of the Knobs. We've got the gentleman right here that wrote.
That's what I'm saying.
You wrote fucking Old School.
And you had the good Wilson in there.
Well, so no, here's the thing. Yeah,
he had the better Wilson, in my opinion.
I had both in there.
Yeah.
No doubt.
They had both in there. That was Todd Phillips who did all that casting, so he deserves the props.
And listen, I know you're about to say something, but I'm going to cut you off. When you were writing it, did you feel it? Did you have goosebumps? Did you this is the motherfucking, this is a thing?
Well, so I wrote the first 2 drafts, and then Todd and his partner Scott Armstrong wrote another 6 or so.
Okay.
And when I wrote the first draft, I'm in advertising, so I feel like I know what plays with people because I spend my life thinking about demographics and what people want rather than what I want to write. And so I felt like this is a big idea, and it was going to have an audience both with people my age and with young kids who were actually in fraternities and stuff like that. So when we took it out, my agent at the time, Mike Eisner, took it out, and half the people said they liked the story but didn't like the writing. Half the people said they liked the writing but didn't like the story.
Hollywood bullshit.
I went up to and I sat in one meeting where I'm waiting in the waiting room, and there's a guy on the phone, and the other, and he's like, hold on, I got this guy, Court Crandall, wrote this hysterical script. I got to talk to you in a minute. And it was so obviously canned for my benefit and so disgusting because I came from Boston where people don't do that stuff.
Right.
And so, yeah, it got various levels up the food chain at various places, but nobody bought it. And Todd Phillips, who I had shot some commercials with for Virgin Cola when we launched Virgin Cola, he really liked the idea, and he brought it into Ivan Reitman. And essentially, I made a big mistake of turning around a second draft in about a week and a half.
Too soon?
I was in Maine, and I just wrote it in what does Sly Stallone say he wrote Rocky in 45 minutes or something?
Right.
I wrote this in about 75 minutes. And I turned the other draft in because they wanted the characters to be younger, and they wanted to have sex with the girls and this and that. And to me, that was more like 7th year college kid rather than you're going back to your college, and some of that stuff probably shouldn't happen if you're going back and starting the fraternity. So I tried to give them their version. I did it quickly. I'm not sure I did it particularly well. I let it go. They wrote another 6 drafts. My credit got bounced down to story by, and I think that had a crushing effect on my career, to be honest with you, as a screenwriter.
What do you mean?
I never had the heat. I was never the in screenplay. It cost me a hell of a lot of money too in residuals, but in addition to that, and I wasn't really concerned about the residuals.
But did you pop your cherry? I know you did a couple other films, but was this the one that you going to be big on, and you thought this was going to be popping your cherry? And you got screwed on it?
Well, to some degree, I don't feel great about how it turned out in some respects because, again, I gave it away knowing that it would be its own thing, it would take its own course, but that it hopefully would facilitate other projects. And I got some stuff has been in optioned and collecting dust bunnies. And
let me ask you this, and this is because I'm dying to know. Did you know that these actors were going to be on board?
No.
And when they were you excited?
Oh, it's a great. I can't say a bad thing about how the movie turned out. I both in terms of some of the writing the other guys did, and in a lot of the ad libs. Vince Vaughn, the earmuffs is all his thing. Mm-hmm. We all know Will Ferrell can ad lib quite a bit, right. And I was a huge fan of Will Ferrell ever since his first skit on Saturday Night Live with the kids. Will you get off the shed? I don't know if you ever saw that, and he starts screaming at him. He's like cooking burgers with the neighbors, then he started screaming, "Kids, get your goddamn ass off the shed!"
Yes.
I was like, this guy is the greatest thing ever in comedy, and because he's so genuine. So I love the cast. And
was your heart broken at all about this?
In the process, there was somewhere along the way when I was reading some of the drafts, and I felt like maybe it wasn't what I had set out to say.
But
and they made some things better. I don't want to criticize,
But don't you say fuck it because I popped my cherry, or are you holding on to that little baby like that's my baby?
No, I completely did the screw it, I'm out.
You let it
take
go.
it, go, and then I went to the premiere and kind of said, you know what, take it for what it is. I'm not the first guy in Hollywood who feels like maybe he should have got a little more credit than he did.
Were you recognized at these premieres and stuff? Did anyone know?
I mean, let's face it, writers are never touted as the heroes in the screenplay world anyway. But they invited me to everything, and
Did you go to the
everybody
set
was perfect.
while they were shooting?
I ended up not going to the set, but that was kind of my doing as much as anything too. So
Were you bitter?
like I said, for a little bit I was, just because I don't know. I thought some people could have
totally understandable.
My attitude is with advertising, creative directing, which is what I've done for a number of years. Is the best thing you can do is pass the applause on to the people who work for you and give them the notice. And I thought I'm giving this up with the understanding that somewhere along the way it'll kind of come back to me, and it never really did.
Hey, Court, can I tell you one extremely impressive? Okay, Adler and I and the Wiz, we work in this business, and we're pounding out.
Hang on a second. It's adjacent. It's business adjacent.
I thought you were about to talk about me.
No, you don't work at all. I mean, if you call this a fucking job,
But here's what I adore and respect about you is what you did with one of the best documentaries in inner city history. And you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna let you breathe in that little robe you have, you little Playboy.
by the way, clearly stolen from like the Ritz-Carlton somewhere.
Yeah, you didn't buy that. Oh, and look at it. Hold on. What are you doing? What are you spraying? Show the camera. Show the camera.
I'm spraying my teenage son's Playboy cologne on.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, we got Crandall in the house. Court is in the house, and he's going to tell us something about way more important than writing a fucking hit movie, something that hits the core and makes people happy. We are 1 degree of Chunky B, and we've got Court in the house. We've got the executive producer of Love right over there, Gary Adler, and the Wizard of the Knobs. Please do not leave your seat, and if you could do me a favor, get online, like us, and tell your friends, because this next segment, you're going to cry. We're done for a sec. You guys have got to check out our brand new sponsor, Venice Duck Brewery. You want to get your quack on? Taste some of this. Hey, you guys, music provided by Play Up Music. That's playupmusic.com.
Words of wisdom you said to me were fewer and farther in between. Love and sacrifice through a sunken dream were complemented by a garden scene. Why?
Hi, I'm Court Crandall on 1 degree of Chunky B, and what has rapidly become the sausage fest known as the Garage of Love.
Court, you are the CEO of Creative Catalyst Positivity. You got like multiple syllable things. We're going to go right in before I got a whole bunch of stuff to talk to you about. And so does Adler and the Wiz. Tell us about this super positivity, yada, 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 yada.
The company Positivity?
Yeah.
So I was a owner of a couple ad agencies, and I left to start my own thing called Positivity, which is a combination of entertainment projects, marketing for a couple select clients, and some philanthropy.
And the reason why I was kind of like being sarcastic, because you did something that I've never seen anybody else do. Before I met you, before I became friends with you, before I had beers with you at the Cozy in Culver City, you did something that blew me away. And it was the free throw contest to get a scholarship, inner city. How did that even start?
Where did it come from?
Well, it started with my son Chase, who played basketball with a few boys from Compton from a real young age, and they were pretty great kids. And so we might all have a preconceived notion of what kids from Compton would be like. And these kids were 180 degrees from that. And I thought to myself, shit, I'm watching my kid, and he's got the iPod, he's got all this stuff. It would be nice to do something to give these kids some of the advantages I know he's going to have later in life. And the more I got into it, the more I started thinking, well, now Compton's a bizarre place too, because it's internationally recognized, and it's, all bad shit, and it's all bad cliches from 25 years ago. And I had this suspicion that if we gave them a soapbox to kind of present themselves, they would embody the American dream as much as anyone. And so I came up with this kind of metaphor, which is there's all these lines in the world that divide people: racial, religious, political, economic. Let's create just one line that brings people together. And that line is going to be the free throw line at Compton High School. I had this vision of 8 kids competing for a free throw contest for a college scholarship. And it was really less about the winning and more about the all coming together. And so I had this vision of the whole school is cheering them on, and there's all this positive energy. And so I went to a couple big shoe brands and was close to getting them to fund it. In the end, they kind of went, we can't quite do it. And so I went to some of my friends who had some money, and I said, here's what I'd like to do. If I screw this up beyond belief, you will have funded a kid going to college. Can you live with that? They all could. I said I was going to make a movie out of it called Free Throw. And so I raised, I don't know, in the end it was probably $70,000 of scholarship money. We had this contest. We filmed these kids. A bunch of crazy stuff happens. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie.
I've seen it. Yes, yes.
Yeah, a lot happens in 2 weeks, both good and bad. And above all, you learn that these kids are just exceptional in every way. And they don't want to just get out of their community. They want to go on, succeed, come back, give back to their community. They appreciate their parents at a level that we don't always see it in some of the more affluent communities. And the people who are from Compton are still, some of genuinely my closest friends. I was thinking the other day that I have 3 people who will tell me they love me: my mom, my wife, and my friend Satra from Compton. And that's kind of the way it is. But that's so awesome. We did this whole thing, and we played it out. We had the competition, and there was one kid in it named Alan Guay, who was a basketball player. We had a big debate. Are we going to leave him in? Should we pull him out? And it didn't seem fair to him.
You left him in.
I left him in. And in the end, we have the ultimate competition, and he just beats a girl shooting underhand who had never picked up a basketball before in her life. And I'm watching her shot go off the rim thinking, now we got no win for the movie. Now we're going to be sending the wrong message, which is all about sports trump all. And in the way that things just tend to work out when your heart's in the right place, I think. A few weeks later, he says he's getting a full ride to go play at Cal State Northridge. He's going to take the $40,000 we gave him, give it to the runners-up.
Wow.
A few weeks on from that, all of a sudden I get a call. I'm at my desk at work, and somebody says, hey, you're on Yahoo right now. And then like 15 minutes later, I get, you're the lead story on Yahoo. And then every news source you can imagine is calling to guess. I only went on ESPN, CNN, a whole bunch of stuff. I think it was 65 million views in the end. I did a TED Talk on it. And
wow.
Look at this.
Good for you.
Waterworks. But
hey, hang on. Can you back up 1 second, Chunk?
Yes.
The folks at home right now, if you want to get in touch with Court, if you want to see a list of his films, if you want to find out more about him and what he's all about, where would the folks find you?
Again, positivitybrand.com is my site where I have some of the stuff, and it's largely focused on my ad business, and particularly Oberto Beef Jerky right now. You can find Free Throw on iTunes. You can find it on Crackle and Hulu. My TED Talk is on YouTube if you just put my name in there.
Awesome. When I saw you on stage, what was that? When were you doing the PowerPoints?
TED Talk.
Is that what we're talking about?
Were you in the TED in Manhattan Beach? Or there was another one I did too called Idea Minch. Did you go to that?
Yes.
Yeah. I talked about different projects and how the ones that come from your heart tend to be the ones that get made. I have a children's book that got made as well.
And I think I'm turning myself in because I normally don't like to do any research on our guests.
Yeah, no, that's readily apparent.
You're a dick.
Do you know, by the way, that we actually met before because you taught me how to play poker? Do you remember
So
that?
did he.
Oh,
Was he somewhere? Was he
Yeah.
at a one poker
He was
game?
over at Wang Doodle Ding Dong.
Oh, no way.
What was the name of
Yeah.
What was the name of the company?
Wong
Oh, you
Duty
were at Wong
Crandall
Duty?
Wiener. Yeah.
You guys,
Oh my
you know something?
God.
You don't even know this. He actually gave us a mug saying the best.
No, I know.
poker-
I have that mug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't even know if you were part of that, but yes, I know that you were there.
And I still haven't picked up the game. I don't
Good.
get it.
Don't get started. Hey, let me tell you something. I saw the documentary. I saw what you did. It is absolutely something that just when you were talking a second ago, I started tearing up. One, I'm a big sissy, okay, but I really dig what you're doing. How do you parlay that into what you're doing now? You're dealing with what I love in life, beef jerky.
Right.
How do you take that heart and soul of what you did for the inner city and bring it to a brand of beef jerky?
Well, as far as Alberto goes, you know, those guys did a wonderful job of kind of changing the nature of the product. They made it all natural. The world's come around to focus on protein, and so a lot of good things were happening for the beef jerky category when I got involved. And they're really good, smart people. They're literally, I think, my favorite people I've ever worked with, and I've worked with some pretty good ones. And we created this tagline of "You get out what you put in," and that's kind of, hopefully that encompasses a lot of things because it talks about nutrition. You know, you put better food in, you get more out. But it also talks about effort in the world and how much you put into something you'll get out, whether you're an athlete or what. And then philanthropy, you know, if you do good in the world, good things will happen back to you. So it's been a great rock because I think everyone rallies around it, from the clients at Alberto to athletes we've had involved. Richard Sherman, I just did a bunch of stuff with, who is from Compton as well. And my single favorite athlete I've ever worked with, just an unbelievably great guy. And a lot of others, they kind of said, oh, I believe in that. That's the philosophy I live by. So I think it has there is a connection there.
Are you watching other commercials? Because I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of like the thing with Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And when you see that, what does that do to you? Does it motivate you or think like, okay, our brand, we're promoting it as good or better?
Well,
how competitive are you when it comes to that?
Oh, I'm competitive for sure. And I even tell people right now, you know, I'm not in the ad business, I'm in the jerky business. So that's my focus. And, you know, I was perfectly aware of the Sasquatch commercials before. I think they're pretty good. You know, that it's based on the line, feed your wild side.
Right.
And so there's a connection there. Our whole thing was based on this idea. I said, well, we've all got this voice in our head.
Yes.
But as it turns out, you've also got a little voice in your stomach. As it turns out, that little voice is Stephen A. Smith, who barks at these professional athletes, tells them to eat more jerky and to do other things. And so it's a way of using the big-time athletes. And to those guys' credit, they picked the three kind of biggest athletes, or at least two of the biggest athletes you could have picked besides LeBron, and Clint Dempsey and Richard Sherman. Right. And it's a way to use them so that they're not confused with Nike and they're not confused with Reebok and they're kind of confused with everybody else who's using athletes, because there's an interplay between the voice in your stomach, who lives in a little 80s pad, and the athletes themselves.
Where's your brand going?
Where's it going?
What's your future?
It's funny because we actually are meeting next week to talk about our 2015 planning, and I'm not going to put it out in the airwaves, but let's just say this: I wouldn't buy stock in Jack Link's right now.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And Adler, I don't mean to bust you out. And we talked about this a couple podcasts ago. This man is a brander, and the Colt 45 you revisited and rejuvenated, elevated, stimulated.
Hasn't hit the shelves yet, but it's on its way.
But you've sent me photos of what's happening, and this man has actually put the brand on the can that's busting out. So you guys, that's what you guys have, something totally in common.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, if you weren't here right now, we would have a really good conversation.
I'm not going to say I prefer Dogtown Duck over Colt 45, but I kind of do.
Yeah,
it's pretty damn good.
I mean, I love my boys at Pabst Blue Ribbon, but that's a tough drinking beer, man.
Yeah.
This is exceptional.
Wait a second. You did Pabst too? Are you allowed to
Pabst
talk?
Blue Ribbon owns Colt 45. I
Okay.
rebranded Old Milwaukee Light and also Colt 45 malt liquor. Yes, and works every time.
Okay, I know. I'm embarrassed to tell you that when I was up in Mammoth and cruising, my family.
I love you too, Chunky B. Oh,
I'm telling you, I'm driving back. I stop in, and I asked the guy, okay, I'm gonna buy some bacon jerky.
Right.
And as a fool, I asked him, what does this taste like? And he looked at me and goes like, are you asking me what bacon jerky tastes like?
It's like, what? Excuse me, ma'am. What's in the Caesar salad?
yeah.
What kind of dressing is that?
Tell me what's coming down the pipe.
By the way, I'm slobbering over
Yeah,
here.
I know, I'm
Can
drooling.
you fucking hand me a piece of bacon jerky?
I brought some treat for you guys. I got the.
Did you
nostalgia.
really?
So there's a box for you and all those kids. I don't even know if
Is this
those are
a
your kids
sub-sponsor?
or.
Yeah.
We have a new sub-sponsor?
There's a bunch of illegitimate children running around the front yard. Some jerky for them.
Hey, can we promote you on a fairly regular basis? If you
Oh, we'll get you some jerky. Yeah.
Yes.
Right on.
I love it. Dude.
So in addition to the original, which
so
is
cheap.
great, there is bacon, as you
right
said.
on. Okay.
There is two new forms, which are barbecue style
Nice.
and buffalo style, which are just hitting the shelves now. I guarantee
mouth is
you
watering.
open
Your
any
mouth-
one of these bags, and I'm not just a salesman. But
I can't.
Whiz,
Now-
on the wheels of steel.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
what do these buffalo ones
Try
taste
any.
like?
It's like spicy.
Hey guys, I'm gonna eat.
Try it. I guarantee there's not a piece in the bag in any of those
I
bags.
know,
by the time I
we're
leave.
gonna be truthful people
Yeah, be truthful.
out there.
If that's not the best chicken jerky, I mean that's
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Here
how
we
great
go.
is
Hey,
that?
can
Look
I
at
ask
that.
you something?
The
Yeah.
color on
Can
that.
I ask you, hey, your family? I know you're a family-oriented guy.
I am.
Oh, that's delicious.
What keeps you? This is like a vague question.
Yeah.
What keeps you ticking? What keeps you going? What motivates you in the morning to get out of bed?
Well, now I feel like I've found this kind of wormhole. My friend described it in the advertising world, where I get to do all the parts of the business I like, and none of the other stuff. So,
Like, what do you mean? Give me details.
well, right now I have my home office, and I get to do all the creative. I get to talk to the clients about everything going on with their business in a way that I'm viewed as a consultant rather than, some shyster. And then I get to outsource production stuff to people that I feel like are in my group of trusted
Right.
confidants I've worked with over the years. And so there's no performance reviews, there's no commuting, there's no sitting in meetings that people tell you need to be in that you really didn't need to be in. And above all, there's not this constant churn like, gotta win new business. I'm perfectly happy if I don't win any other business. And as a result, I can pick and choose what I want to work on. So I've described it as a Jerry Maguire model, where I can, if I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm talking to someone about doing another TV show, and I have another ad client that's coming to me, that's all I can take. And then, so there can only be 3 advertising clients max.
He had me at model.
Court, can I tell you something?
Bacon Jerky Spectacular, right?
Okay. But I want to let you know, I represent the jerky eating male from 18. I know I'm not 35, but from
thought you were
like
gonna say
35
18,
to
27.
55. I represent the jerky America loving life blue collar representative. Can I audition for you? I'm not asking to be in the next commercial.
Dude, you realize he doesn't do the Sasquatch once, right?
Oh, you are a prick. You are a dick. No, I'm trying to get something classy. My stomach rumbling. Can you give me an audition?
Oh, well, there's many ways we're going to expand it. I was just talking to the guy who runs the hydroplane side of the business today.
Oh,
We're
wow.
going to do some fun stuff with that.
Okay.
So there's many places you could appear.
Okay. And here's another thing. And Adler, I know your plate is full, and I know you know this, but you've taken on a new project with my friend Mike Aceto.
Right.
And it is called iMints. And this is way ahead. We should probably not even talk about this.
You probably shouldn't.
Should we not talk about it right
I
now?
don't know. You tell me, but I'm not sure Mike's going to want you to.
No, I talked to him today.
Oh, he does.
and you know something? This is a thing. Gary, he investigated and he got onto the Game Show Network, and the most creative individual I know in the world is across the table.
Thank you very much.
And you know I adore that about you.
I wish I could have done it.
Dude,
I just didn't have time, man. I love the product.
Thank you. You're the one who passed.
Yeah, I
God
love the
you.
product. Love it. Love it. I love the name. I love the whole thing. Hang on, I'm reaching over for some more jerky.
Try that.
Try to bake them. We're talking about this right now.
Yep.
If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, at least we're right now ahead of time. This is eye mints, ladies and gentlemen. And here's the deals. It's eye drops and breath mints combined together. You give me 30 seconds on this, and then we'll change the subject.
So you talked to me about it, and a lot of people have come to me, like Gary, people have come to advertise products and with their movie script ideas and their children's books, and I'd say 95% of the time you're like, oh, God, please, God, no, just make them go away.
Right.
And in this case, I went, well, that's pretty unique, and I liked what Mike had to say, and so I said, all right, well, I'll jump on board for a stake in this thing, and we'll create a campaign. And I'm not going to tell you what the campaign is yet, but I'm going to tell him a week after next.
We got a meeting on the 11th.
And I'll be surprised if you don't think it's funny and entertaining. So I feel like it should be hopefully what convenience stores would want.
For me, the burgeoning weed market is so where to go with this thing.
They will be played to, Gary.
California gold, man.
But I think the key is to play to them, but not have it get marooned there,
it
can grow beyond there.
Absolutely.
And I think there is a way to do that.
I love the fact that we have two geniuses at the table.
Yeah, if we can get
and I'm talking about me and you, Wiz.
Yeah, that's us. Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
Stop hoarding the chicken strips over there.
Wait, well, trade me the bacon.
Wiz, what do you think of those?
They're delicious, actually. Both of them are really tasty.
Yeah, and a perfect amount of spiciness on these things.
And you say they're all natural, not a bunch of BS ingredients in there?
Yeah, well, the original's all natural. Other stuff you got to add a little bit here and there, but they're very good for you.
You think you could talk to the folks at Oberto and tell them we're going to be pitching their stuff?
Like I said, anything's possible here.
We're on our way up, man.
Yeah. Okay, can I change the subject? Your kids. He's got two children.
Right.
Okay, that are phenomenal athletes in the water.
You have a phenomenal athlete.
Lacrosse and baseball.
Unreal.
And you're traveling around the country with your kid. Isn't it a pain in the ass?
Well, it is. Well, I just got done doing it for basketball.
Okay.
And my oldest was one of those kids who was pretty highly recruited when he was a sophomore. So the moment that he was NC2A eligible, his phone starts blowing up at midnight that night, and then he got hurt, and his trajectory kind of changed. And so in the end, he walked away from it just now and is going to go to SMU and not play basketball, and he's perfectly happy with that.
Okay.
But right after we finally got through that, now the young one's all about lacrosse, and we've spent the entire month of July running around to different fields.
How funny is it that, you and I hook up, and we've known each other, and, we learned to play, we try to teach you cards, and then we're sitting having a beer together, and then all of a sudden we're texting each other like we're in Colorado.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for your wife at one time for one
don't do
game.
that. Don't do that.
Oh, the chicken jerky is awesome.
Right?
Told you.
But you know something? When Court came over, and I want you to hear this, was Court came over to just like sit with nobody in the bar, no drinks, just water. He sat at my kitchen table and we talked about who are you and what am I and bada boom, bada bing. And I gave him a gift for his kid, and it was a thing for lacrosse. And I never thought Jack, my son, would want to use it. And as soon as I gave it, he was like, "Dad, you gave that fucking thing. You gave that thing away."
I'll get that back to you then. That's fine.
No.
Yeah.
Don't
He's
give it
been
back to
talking
me.
about it for a long time.
Week after next, it's coming back.
Yeah. He's been pissed about it for a while.
That kid's too big. I don't want to piss him off.
That kid's huge, man.
And here's the deals. I'm going to flat out tell you. I say we put a bow on this right now.
Okay.
Court, you have made us feel awesome in your energy and your wisdom and your integrity is really, I know, is really warming, and I embrace it. But we never end 1 Degree of Junkie B without one question from the Wizard of the Knobs. So I'm going to give the mic to him, and he's going to ask you whatever it is, and you have to answer it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely terrifying.
Welcome, gentlemen.
To the real podcast.
All right. Court, nice to meet you. I love
Likewise.
old school is amazing. I can't wait to see Free Throw. I want to see this documentary. I do. I genuinely fucking hate advertising.
I understand that.
You seem to have a nice positive output to it. Like, how do you mesh those things that you're selling? I'm not going to call Alberto shit. I think it's good. I think it's really good beef jerky, but you might be killing people with it. How do you mesh those two things to come together?
How am I killing
Dude, I
people
told
with
you.
jerky?
Dude,
I might have taken it to a stretch.
All I wanna
If Richard Sherman's selling me anything, I'm very wary.
You are allowed to stretch it. There's something. There's
I
one
want to
thing.
say eat up.
Yeah, seriously. Keep eating it, which is delicious, by the way.
And I'll continue to bang on Richard Sherman, brightest. I worked on ESPN for 20 years.
Oh wow, yeah.
Single nicest, brightest, most giving athlete I've ever worked with. Fantastic. But so how do I balance it? I mean, I think you can use advertising for positive messages. I did the anti-tobacco work for California for 9 years. But also, I think if you take the bent in that we're not just going to push products on people, we're not just going to bang them on the head. At the least, we're going to entertain them, and then hopefully we're going to give them a positive message, and we're going to do some, tie philanthropy to the company in some ways, and we're going to be a brand that is suited to the modern world rather than the old days of advertising where you just went straight to the lowest common denominator. So I do think it can be used in a positive fashion.
Very well. Well, follow up to that. Do you watch Mad Men?
I do, yeah. So, it's funny. My dad was
right.
from that era.
Yeah.
So
Was he an
it's a
advertising man
shame.
as well?
He was, yeah. And it's a shame he passed away right before the show started because it would have been great to kind of pick his brain on some of that.
Who are you in that world?
Well, allegedly I'm Don Draper, but who knows?
Yeah, beautiful.
By the way, Travis, how was the beer today? It was good?
Oh, I love the Venice
That's
Duck.
great. By the way, Venice Duck is an excellent beer. It sponsors our
What are you
show.
trying to get out of this?
No, I'm just trying to say all advertising isn't bad. It was a delicious beer, right?
I see what you're saying.
And in the same way that you guys, I think, without prejudice, said that you like the beef jerky.
Fucking loved it.
Yeah, this Venice Duck's good beer.
It is good beer.
I'll take some to go, please.
You know something? I'm gonna put a bow on this right now, and I want to say thank you to Don DeBear, one of our super fans that give us gifts.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you will get a gift from this. Oh my gosh! Go Twitter.
Thank you, Don. And who's the girl who comes and takes
Oh
photos
my
of Sky
gosh,
Lady Kathy?
Karen McCoy.
Karen, thank you so much.
McCoy,
Yeah.
Mary Kay, thank you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get so
These are all
wrapped-
the women that didn't show here, right?
That's right.
That's
They're-
going on.
Well, we've asked them to show up right after.
I tell you what, if they showed up, it would have been a party. All right, Karen and Mary Kay and
Don.
T. No. He goes by T for Boo Boo. Oh my gosh, I've been drinking too much.
We have some fun fans.
I want to say thank you guys, and thank you for spreading the word. We've got right here Court Crandall. I want to let you know, you're welcome back here anytime, but you always have to wear the robe.
That's
It's on.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go around the horn. Thank you, Court. My man, I love you so much.
Love you too.
Adler, you put up with me, and you know something, we got past that big argument right before the
Yeah,
show.
I think I surprised you a bit today.
You did. And, okay, the Wizard of the Knobs, Travis Spencer,
Thanks,
could
America.
not do it without you. Everybody keep watching 1 Degree of Junkie B in the Garage of Love.
Now, I just have to make a comment about Chunky B.